Detroit bowling fans have turned out in force to support one of their own here at Thunderbolt Lanes. His name is Thomas Smallwood, and he is living a dream. Less than a year ago, he was working on an assembly line here in the Motor City. Today, he's competing for a PBA Tour title at the prestigious World Series of Bowling. But in the next chapter of the Smallwood story, a superstar opponent awaits. The two-handed wonder from down under, Jason Belmonte. We welcome you back to Detroit, the Scorpion Championship, coming your way from Thunderbolt Lanes here in Allen Park, Michigan, just outside of Detroit, as the World Series of Bowling rolls on. And here's what we have in store for you today. Jason Belmonte taking on Thomas Smallwood. Great story there in semifinal number 1. The second semi has Sean Rash taking on Mike Devaney. And the PBA Women's Series presented by Bowl.com. The title match, Shannon Pluhowski versus Liz Johnson. Through 4 tournaments in this year's PBA World Series of Bowling, we've seen 4 different men win. Today we'll make it 5 for 5. Rob Stone, Randy Peterson back here with you in Detroit. Semifinal number 1, well, you couldn't dream up a more interesting matchup of 2 guys who've kind of become the faces of 2 different things. On one hand, you have Jason Belmonte, the charismatic two-handed bowler from Australia. He is the face of the PBA right now. His opponent in semifinal number 1, Tom Smallwood, who's really the face of Detroit lately. He's here essentially because last year he was laid off by General Motors.
Yeah, it's a great story because he earned a full-time exemption this season by virtue of what he did at tour trials in this very building. And in our opening semifinal match, he's going to take on the two-handed sensation from Australia, Jason Belmonte. And who can forget his historic win last season in Long Island? It's going to be an exciting opening match.
Yeah, and to further layer the story, Smallwood's going to have a huge fan base here, but he's also battling a nasty back injury.
Thomas Smallwood.
And the crowd is into it because that man is bowling. Thomas Smallwood, the hometown favorite from Flushing, Michigan, about 45 minutes north of Detroit, taking on Jason Belmonte. And Smallwood laid off from the GMC Extended Cab Trucks assembly line his last day last year, December 23rd. Tough day to leave work. It's the 7 to fall late. This Smallwood's first career TV appearance and his first season as an exempt player after having earned his exemption by finishing 3rd this year in the PBA Tour Trials held here at Thunderbolt.
Very interesting style. Tom Smallwood, he only puts his thumb into the first knuckle. Gets a lot of hand on the ball, and what that does is it creates a very high rev rate. And speaking of high rev rates,
Jason Belmonte.
This guy
gets it going with 2 hands. The two-hand wonder from down under Orange, New South Wales, Australia, Jason Belmonte seeking his 2nd Lumber Liquidators Tour title. Oh, they went flying fast, didn't they?
Yeah, they sure did. Unfortunately, a pocket 4-9 split to start this match. You need to think about Jason Belmonte. We know about all that power, but with that power comes a tremendous amount of ball speed. We're talking 21, almost 21.5 miles an hour. These numbers brought to us by the Kegel Training Center. Most professionals on the tour average about 18 or 19 miles an hour. Whoa!
That did not look good from the moment it was released. Well off target. Open frame.
Okay.
To to open semifinal number 1. But I like how Belmonte steps back, refocuses, gives himself a little, okay, let's start this one all over again. He won the 2009 Bowling Foundation Classic in Long Island, which earned him an exemption for this season.
Check out the grip here. No thumb, just the fingers. Bowling ball supported with both hands.
Gets them all to drop.
One bad break followed by a good one. How about Jason sporting the full carpet on his face today, huh? I love it. He's got that rough look. Takes that bowling ball that just kind of makes shrapnel out of pins.
It's got like the playoff beard going already. I like it. He makes way for Thomas Smallwood. Again, we mentioned at the outset, battling a back injury. He has a rib out of place in his left upper back. Still looking for his first strike, and this is not something that he's been dealing with in the past. They actually called a chiropractor here to the bowling center. It's a first-time problem for him, and it has given him a lot of issues.
He had to ask himself, what did I do? What did I do to deserve this?
Thomas Smallwood, an unemployed auto worker one day, and then a few months later, an exempt player here on the PBA Tour. But he didn't do it alone. His wife, Jennifer, let him chase his dream.
She's supportive. I'm lucky that because there's not many wives are going to say, yeah, don't worry about getting a job for 4 or 5 months. Just go ahead and practice. So she understood, and she's been a good sport, and obviously now she's a great sport.
There is the Mrs. Jennifer in attendance. Time now for your Lumber Liquidators Know the Wood, and we are rolling on the Scorpion oil pattern, Randy.
All right, well, there's been adjustments to all the patterns this season, back to 41 feet in length, but very, very tough because the patterns are playing much flatter this season because of the amount of oil that's been applied to the outside parts of the lane. Scoring environment thus far, the World Series of Bowling, very, very tough.
By the way, you may catch a glimpse from time to time of a rendering of the Scorpion oil pattern over to the left of the players. The PBA has placed it on lane 8 over there so everyone can see what the bowlers are constantly trying to figure out. Jason Belmonte working off a strike here in the 3rd. Belmo gets them all to drop.
Wow, nice break, and that's where power and speed come into play. You think about the amount of revolutions that Jason Belmonte puts on a bowling ball. If he didn't have that high speed or that amount of speed, his bowling ball would hook into the left gutter. Check out the bent elbow, holding it with 2 hands. Remember, his thumb is not in the bowling ball, and he gets a big double early on in this first match.
Good shot, Chase. Good shot. Good ball change. Good move.
So Belmonte with a 3-bagger, more from his semifinal with Smallwood when the World Series of Bowling from Detroit returns. The PBA Scorpion Championship is brought to you by Lumber Liquidators, hardwood flooring for less. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. By Bear Aspirin, expect wonders. And by the United States Bowling Congress, the all-new Bowl.com, your online source for all things bowling. Log on to Bowl.com today.